All right, folks, welcome back to the channel and to another edition of News and Views. This is a video that I do on occasion that brings you up to speed on where I'm going as far as Hickory golf events are concerned, what's happening, in Hickory Hacker Workshop. And this week I'm going to talk about the events that I'm going to over the course of the summer of 2024, as well as give you some exciting news about the Wulff long-nose golf clubs that I've been making and that I'm holding right here in my hand. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about events. Before I say specifically where I'm going, I want to definitely recommend you check out the extensive list of Hickory events that are at hickorygolfers.com, which is the website for the Society of Hickory Golfers. And you're going to find every event that they're aware of that's happening in the United States and internationally for that matter on that schedule. So as far as events that are happening in my neck of the woods, there are several that I've been to over the years that I want to mention that are coming up. I unfortunately won't be able to be at all of them, but I want to highlight the ones that I will be at and also highlight some others that I won't be at that you should try to attend if you're in the area. Let's start with where I'm going to be. So Saturday, June 22nd, I'll be in Washington, D.C. at the inaugural Stars and Stripes event that's hosted by my friend Sam Sinclair. This event is at East Potomac Blue, which is a fantastic golf course. It was designed by Walter Travis in 1920, I want to say. And it's at the time it was considered the model for what a municipal golf course could be in the United States. And since then, the National Links Trust has taken it under its wing and has a very extensive renovation plan in process already for that course and the other two municipal courses that are in the DC area. So I'm excited to see what's changed since I was there in 2021. If you've watched the channel for any duration, you'll remember that I did a course vlog at East Potomac back in 2021, and it was actually around this time of year, 2021. And yeah, I played okay, but I'm looking forward to playing better now that I know the course. And I'll be actually using a different set of clubs though than I used for that first round there. I've since gravitated away from using my pre-1935 Hickory set and much more prefer using my gutty clubs now. So if it's an event like the Stars and Stripes where everybody else is going to be playing with a modern low compression ball instead of the synthetic gutta percha ball we use for gutty events, I'll play my transitional gutty set, which is clubs made between 1898 and 1904. I won't get in the weeds with all the details of this, but I will say that as far as gutty golf is concerned, we kind of separate it into eras. And if you're playing pre-1898 gutty golf, then you're usually using heavier clubs along with the synthetic gutta percha ball. And if you're playing post-1898 gutty golf, or what I call transitional gutty golf, then you could play with the synthetic gutta percha ball, but you could also play with something that kind of mimics the performance of the rubber core Haskell ball, which came on the scene in 1898. And that's what I'll be doing at East Potomac for the Stars and Stripes. I'll actually be playing my, like I said, transitional gutty set, but with a Callaway Super Soft modern low compression ball that I've remolded with a line cut pattern. And I didn't actually do the remolding in this case. I do make my own mesh pattern balls, which you've seen on this channel before. But in this case, I sent a dozen balls to Dave Brown at McIntyre Golf, and he offers a service that's not posted on the website, but if you reach out to him through the website and ask him for the opportunity to do this, I'm sure he'd be happy to do it for you. And that service is actually sending your balls to him so he can stamp them with whatever, or I should say remold them with whatever mold you want that he has, whether it be a line cut pattern, mesh cut pattern, even a bramble. And then he sends it back to you. So you pay the shipping both ways, and you pay, I think, maybe 16 bucks or less than 20 bucks for the process of him remolding the dozen balls that you send him. But I think it's totally worth it because then you get a period correct looking ball with the performance of the ball that you prefer. And McIntyre's balls are fun, but I prefer playing with a super soft ball when I'm playing transitional gutty golf, when I'm not using a synthetic gutta percha ball. And now I play it with the line cut pattern that Dave put on it for me, and I feel like I'm playing a period correct ball. So that's what I'll be playing with at the Stars and Stripes. Sam's given me a peek at some of the clubs, or I'm sorry, some of the tee gifts that are going to be received by the, I think, 13 of us at this point that are signed up. And that's to say that there's still room for you to sign up and play at this event if you watch this video within a week of me posting it, which I think it's going to go live Sunday, June 9th, so 2024. So if you watch this video within a week or so, there's still time to sign up for the Stars and Stripes. If you can't make it all the way down to DC and you're in the Northeast, specifically New England, Saturday, June 22nd is also the day of the Smith Collette Classic at Shenectah Golf Course in Groton, Connecticut. That's the event that Jacob Orcutt started when we worked together on kind of helping begin and promote through the Connecticut Hickory Golf Association. This is the 4th year, I want to say, that it's happening. Is that right? Maybe it's the 3rd year. Anyway, at any rate, it's a fun event. I wish I could make it, but I'm not going to be able to get up there to play it this year. So if you're in New England and you're looking for something to do at a beautiful Donald Ross designed golf course, check out the Smith Collette Classic. And you'll want to reach out to Jacob about that one pretty soon, because I think he does have a cutoff for that to set up tee times and stuff. Let's see, moving into July, another event that I've been to but unfortunately won't be able to get to again this year is the what was called the Lake Sunapee Hickory Classic but is now called the New Hampshire Hickory Classic, and that's run by David Webster at Lake Sunapee Country Club, which is another Donald Ross design, and it was the summer course, or like post-career home course for Gene Sarazen. And another great course. I really enjoyed being up there. I'm just not going to be able to get up there this time of, for this year's event. I've noticed since I'm on the south side of Long Island Sound, it's a lot harder to get to all the New England events because it's either driving through the city 4 hours basically, or you take an expensive ferry across. So I'm missing a lot of what's going on in the New England scene these days because of being only 20 miles on the wrong side of the Sound, basically. But the upside to that is I have easier access to events like the Stars and Stripes down in DC. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, if you're in New England, check that event out as well. And again, details for that and all the events are on the hickorygolfers.com website for the Society of Hickory Golfers. Looking ahead to August 8, 9, 10, I believe it is the Foxburg Hickory Championship, which is at Foxburg Country Club in Pennsylvania. That event's run by Tom Johnson, and it's one of the longest running gutty events in the country. We actually play with a synthetic gutta percha ball in that event, specifically the McIntyre Park ball. So I'll be using my true pre-1898 gutty clubs for that event, including one of my Wulff long-nose putters. And if I can get it finished in time, I'm hoping to have a short spoon for that event as well. I played at Foxburg for the 2022, I want to say it was, National Hickory Championship, and loved the golf course, and I'm looking forward to going back and playing some real true gutty golf there again. So that's happening. And then looking ahead at September, I've mentioned it to a few folks that I'm going to the U.S. Hickory Open at Kenosha Country Club, but I've since decided to withdraw from that event, and I'll explain why here. So when I was at the Oddball event in Illinois, Brad Carando and I had the opportunity to play together on day 2, and Brad lives 10 minutes away from the Kenosha Country Club. My mom lives 15 minutes away from the Kenosha Country Club. So at the time, I was signed up for the event, and I was looking forward to it simply because it was in my backyard, and I figured it'd be the cheapest way for me to ever be able to attend a U.S. Hickory Open. But talking to Brad, I asked, "Are you going to the event?" And Brad said, "No, I don't really get excited about the competitive aspect of hickory golf, and I'd just be taking somebody else's spot who is excited about that aspect of hickory golf." And that got me thinking, because I'm in the same boat. I'm not really looking forward to the competitive aspect of what that event represents. And I realized that, in order to experience a U.S. Hickory Open, it would be probably most appropriate if the person who's there is excited about the competitive aspect of it too. That's not to say you can't have a good time at a USHO if you're not into the competitive side of it. But if you have any aversion to the competitive side of golf, or hickory golf specifically, a U.S. Hickory Open is probably not the best place to spend your time when you could be playing a different event, or you could be giving that spot to somebody who does value that. And last I heard, there was a waiting list for that event, which means that they've already reached the capacity. The Wisconsin Hickory golfers put on fantastic events, so it didn't take long for that sign-up sheet to fill up. I believe they're at around 120 competitors, and like I said, I think they have a waiting list at this point. So I thought long and hard about it. I knew that there were going to be friends of mine at the event. Sam Sinclair is going to be there. Joey Piatek's going to be there. Several others, folks that I haven't met that I'm been looking forward to meeting, were probably going to be at that event. I just realized that like I said, I'm not that excited about the competitive side of Hickory golf, and the USHO is. That's what that event is all about, and it should be. I mean, none of this is to say, negative things about the competitive side of Hickory golf. In fact, I would argue that there should probably be a more organized system of competitive Hickory golf within the Society of Hickory Golfers, because there are so many people who are good, not just good golfers, but great Hickory golfers, and it would really showcase what these clubs are capable of doing in the right hands. So I'm totally a huge proponent of the competitive side of Hickory golf. It's just not for me. It's just not something that I'm that interested in. So I decided to withdraw from the event to release my spot for somebody who is interested in being competitive in that event. And the other side, or the other reason why I decided to withdraw, was because Brad hosts an event in Wisconsin in October that I really enjoy going to, that's very casual. It's my speed. It's the kind of Hickory golf event that I like to go to. And I only had an opportunity to go back either in September or October. I couldn't do both. So I'm going back in October to play in Brad's event at Spring Valley. That is the weekend of October 7th, 6th, 7th. I should have these dates more ingrained in my head, but if it's thereabouts. And the cool thing about this year's event is the Friday before. The event's on a Saturday at Spring Valley, and then the Friday before that, we're planning on doing, or they're planning on doing, a 9-hole gutty event at Washington Park Golf Course in Kenosha, which is colloquially known in the area as Muni. Dates back to the early 1920s, and it's a really cool, quirky 9-hole up and down kind of golf course that's perfect for gutty golf. In fact, before last year's Spring Valley event, Brad, Jeremy from the Wisconsin Hickory Golfers, and I played 9 holes of gutty golf and had a blast. And I think since then, Jeremy's established a good relationship with the folks at Muni, who are excited to have a more formal event showcasing Hickory golf on site. So as of today, that event's going to happen on the Friday before, and I want to be a part of that. The things that excite me about Hickory golf these days are gutty golf and feathery golf. So I really do have a fear of missing out on certain events related to gutty and feathery that I can't get to. So that's all to say, I opted out of the U.S. Hickory Open to be able to go back in October to play in Brad's event. And if you're in Kenosha or in the Wisconsin area or nearby, and you want to play both gutty golf on Friday and then pre-35 at a really cool Langford and Moreau course at Spring Valley, join us for that event. And details for that are going to be coming up. I'm not quite sure those are on the hickorygolfers.com website quite yet, but I'll be talking about that later in the summer, so you'll hear the details from me. And also just refer to the description on this video for any specifics that I can link you to directly. So let's see, I think that takes us through the rest of the year as far as events are concerned. Let's talk about now what's been happening in the workshop. So if you'll recall, or if you follow my Instagram page specifically, you'll know that I put together built a 4-club feathery set for the oddball out of Castello boxwood. I made a play club, a short spoon, a baffing spoon, and then this club here in my hand, which is the putter. I base these. First of all, I call these clubs my 1815 series because the characteristics of these clubs are inspired by the clubs that I've seen and looked at from the early 1800s by such makers as Hugh Philp and Peter McEwen. And the idea of all the clubs that I make under the Wulff name are that I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of somebody who would have been making these clubs back in the day, but wasn't actually there. So that's to say I'm kind of time traveling in a way where I'm pretending like I was in the time frame making these clubs, but these clubs never existed back then. So they're not based on any specific templates. They're just my own designs inspired by the makers, like I would be if I was a club maker back in the day, looking up to the best in my craft. So that's what the characteristics are basically in line with clubs you would have seen in the early 1800s. So specifically for feathery golf, however, you could play gutty golf with this putter. You could even play modern golf with this putter. The reason I'm selling the putter, and that's what I'm getting at here, is that this club is now for sale. The reason it's for sale is because I like the first putter that I made, which I'm calling part of my 1848 series. It was the very first club that I finished from top to bottom. So that meant even the shaft I helped Brad Carando, or Brad Carando helped me make in his shop. So that club has my DNA all over it. This club here, I made the head, but this is just a standard hickory shaft that I applied to it from another set because I wanted to get this set finished for the oddball. So that's only there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a club that I made top to bottom 100%. So I'm offering it up for sale because I like the previous putter that I made a little bit better. It suits my putting stroke a little bit better. I'm hitting more putts with it, I guess is the bottom line. And this one's very heavy. For some people, that's great. A lot of people like heavier putters in general. I just made this one a little too heavy for me. So, it's a beautiful grain. The look of it is I think, stunning. But it just doesn't play as well for me as the first one did. So instead of just relegating it to a display rack, I want to try to get somebody who wants to try feathery golf or gutty golf and wants a period correct putter to do it with. That's why I'm selling this and why I'm offering it up at this point. So $250 plus shipping. The details for this club are in the description of this video. And I put together a little highlight reel of some different looks at the putter as well as showing you how it works. So I'll just go ahead and show you that right now. Okay, so as you can see, the putter works, it makes putts, and it can be yours if you reach out to me. So the way we're going to do this is the first person to email me with interest, I'll get back to you with a shipping quote once you send me your address. And that's kind of how I sell all the clubs. I don't have a cart or anything set up on my website. So there's a little link on the website. You'll click on that link. It'll email me directly that you're interested in the putter. And if you're the first person to reach out to me about it and you're able to pay for it right away, then it's yours. So that's how I do it. Other details that I didn't mention in the highlight reel, it's a sheepskin grip tacked the way that early 1800s clubs would have been tacked. It's a linen underlisting and hemp stained black as the whipping, both top and bottom. So that's those are your details. That's ram's horn for the horn, and that's lead back weight. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool putter. I know it's not going to get used as much, and somebody else should have this to use it. So this is the first Wulff putter that I'm making available for sale. If you've watched other videos that I've talked about, where I've talked about the Wulff long nose clubs, you know that basically these clubs are only available when I have them available. There's no time frame or inventory that I'm trying to build up. It's simply when I have a club that I'm not using or that I think someone else would appreciate, I offer it up for sale. So I can't tell you when the next club's going to be up for sale. So that's all to say is if you really want one of these clubs, you got to act when you see it, because I don't know the next time they'll be available, and I can't tell you that exactly. So I think with that, one more thing. I didn't take a drink of water out of this yet, but this is my Team Stewart and Jacoby cooling glass or cooling cup. And I brought this out because I wanted to remind you, if you've forgotten, that the 10% discount that I get through Stewart and Jacoby is in perpetuity, basically. So I try to update it every year with the correct code. And this year's code is Hickory Hacker 24, all one word with 24. That information's in the description for the video as well. But this means that you get 10% off whatever's on their website. So that's a great deal if you're looking for a new pencil bag, or you're looking for one of their great pieces of luggage, or a head cover, or whatever the case may be. Go to stewardandjacoby.com and remember to use that code for your 10% off. And that's also an opportunity for me to once again thank Stewart and Jacoby for everything they've done for this channel and for me personally. I really appreciate their ongoing support of the channel, and I'm constantly trying to figure out more ways to try to get them, exposure through my channel, because their products are outstanding. They're made in America with, American source good materials, and just Will and Bailey are fantastic people, and they deserve, as much business as they can get. So I thank them all the time for that. And that does remind me of something else I didn't talk about in the events that I'm excited to do over the summer. Some of you have been asking me about the Bethpage Black course vlog that I haven't posted yet. And I did a preview video of it last year after I played. It's literally been a year now since I played that round. And I've been sitting on the footage only because I had so much other stuff, specifically from Scotland, kind of stacked up that I've been trying to do. And then, life got in the way over the last year, as you're well aware from previous videos on this channel. So I've got other videos or other course vlogs that I'm trying to work on, but I do have a great idea, or at least in my head, it's a great idea as far as Bethpage Black is concerned. And I've already started working on the next installment of that, even though you haven't seen the first round yet. So in a nutshell, what this is going to be is basically 3 rounds of me playing with Hickory clubs at Bethpage Black and seeing how I can improve each time I go. So I already played the second round. Actually played it with Sam Sinclair, and you'll see that as part of this package that I'm going to try to put together, or the Bethpage Black series is, I guess, what I'm going to call it. And the first round that I'm hoping to post within the next month will be that round that I played last year with my buddy Tim. And then you'll see the round that I played with Sam, and then I'm going back later in the summer with Jared Paletti, whom you saw in the Inwood Country Club video. That was the preview for last year's US Hickory Open. And then finally, the 4th installment of the series is going to be me going back to Bethpage Black with my modern clubs. And I won't get into it here, but I'll let the cat out of the bag that I've been playing modern golf a lot more lately, and like true modern golf. And so I'm really excited to see how much of a difference it is to play that course with 3 rounds of Hickories and then go back with my modern clubs after I know where a lot of the holes go, and I kind of learned some of the intricacies. One of the cool things about living in New York, and specifically living on Long Island, is that Bethpage Black ends up being probably the best deal for a high caliber golf course you can find on the island. As New York State residents, we only have to pay $75 for a round there, and obviously there's no carts, so it's $75 to walk, 18. You got to set aside a whole day for it, and you have to really plan ahead because the online reservation process is pretty crazy. But both times that I've tried to use the process, the online reservation process, and it's worked. And I've gotten the day that I want to play, and it's been fantastic. Really enjoy it. And when I'm comparing the price to Bethpage Black to other courses on the island that I could play, tomorrow, it's not really that much different in cost. So that's all to say that Bethpage Black is an outstanding deal for me, and I've kind of made it my home course over the course of this year. I went there just a few weeks ago. I'm going back hopefully in a couple weeks, and I'm going to try to make it basically a monthly trip to play the black course, because it really is a lot of fun. I mean, it beats you up, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to showing that footage through you and showing you that series, and you kind of get as familiar with Bethpage Black as I'm starting to get by watching a few rounds there, and me basically showing you parts of the course that no one else ever showed you, because they're better golfers than me, and they're able to actually get the ball where you're supposed to go. So I'll be showing you some areas of the course that you've never seen before. All right, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.